Talking to a camera. Whatever. There's nobody really there. They were to be naked. Don't be nervous. Why would you be nervous? Stupid camera. Talking to a camera. You guys there? Is anybody even there? So, it's December in upstate New York. And the old bike is gonna need some jetting changes. See how she starts. Oh, oh, mama. Oh, mama, it's cold. Little choke. She is not happy. She's not happy. Ooh, it's not happy. Okay, so it starts with the choke. I ain't happy about it, but it starts with the choke, so you gotta be kind of close. Better warm up a little. You hear that chain tensioner? That chain tensioner makes way too much noise in these bikes. It's because it's a hydraulic chain tensioner. It relies on the oil pressure inside the motor to tighten the cam chain, and when the oil's too thick when it's cold out, or if the motor is just cold in general, they can't get enough oil pressure into that hydraulic tensioner right there. That cam chain is just a smacking. That's the culprit right there. That's gonna get changed out in just a matter of minutes. I'm gonna bring this thing in the shop where the heat is. We're gonna get her changed. Ooh, burr. Ooh. Come on, dog. Okay, come on. He's really excited about helping me. Come on. Good boy. So today we got a KTM 530 EXC-R dual sport. It's a 2008, and they're notorious for having cam chain slap. So what I did today was I got a Dirt Tricks KTM timing chain tensioner. So I'm gonna use a socket for this, and I'm gonna find one that fits. This one. What? That's the one. That one is not the one. Not the one. Not the one. I already put Okay, Old Faithful. So, I don't have that size wrench. What we're gonna do here today is I am going to use a metric adjustable crescent. You can find these about anywhere. Hardware store, Ace Hardware, Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart. Unless you don't like Walmart, then don't go to Walmart. But we're gonna do this. We're gonna take it right out. I'm gonna do this buster loose. Real high quality stuff here. Whole KTM. Got the oil. A little bit of oil on the outside. It ain't bad. Change this cam chain tensioner out. Get these out of the way. This is the old hydraulic one. She's about head to weenie too. That oil is so thick, and there's a little spring inside there. And that's all it does. The oil comes in through these holes here, up in the inside, go in there, and the pressure from the oil forces this out. So as the cam chain is tightening up against in here, it's pushing up against a little guide. There's a plastic guide that this pushes against, and if it overcomes that spring, that's when you get that slap, because there's too much slack in the chain. So what this thing is supposed to do, and it does do it, it did it for years and years, but it recently, this is a 2008 and it's 2020 now. I don't need to remind anybody that, but this thing has gotten worse, especially even noticeably more loud on the last ride that I did before winter. So I'm going to change this out, and we're putting in a manual chain tensioner. I'll get you right back to it. Well, I'm gonna turn. So what'll happen if your cam chain decides to skip a tooth? If it skips one tooth, it'll probably run. It'll run poorly. You'll have a lack of power, hard to start maybe. Kind of feel like it's got a valve out of adjustment or two. It'll run. I think I've probably done that a couple times. But if it skips two tooths or more, and your timing gets off, what's going to happen to your motor is when that piston comes up and that valve is still down, the way it's supposed to work is when the piston comes up, the valve is going to be closed and out of the way so that it can finish the stroke of the piston. If the valve is out of time and the valve is sticking down from where it should be, we'll say this is top dead center, and if the valve is closed, when that opens back up, if the valve is still open, when that piston comes up, you're going to have a bad time. Okay, so it's going to break that, probably more than likely either bend it or break the valve, and it'll send it to the repair shop where you can spend all kinds of money. So when we put this back together, this is how Dirt Tricks came with this here, a little bit of rust, didn't cost nothing extra. I wouldn't expect it to, but I wouldn't charge any extra. Come with a spring. These are your old components. This part came off of here, a little O-ring, and you got your copper washer, goes up against there to the outside of the motor. So you're going to take this spring, put it in the back side here. So the way this actually works, the manual tensioner, that little gold thing in there, right there, little gold guy, that has got some teeth on it. You probably won't be able to see it, but there's ribs, it's threaded. So what it does is this comes out. When it comes out and it grabs a tooth, it'll start here all the way in. When it comes out and you got it, that spring in there, I got to get the rotated here. Come on, Dirt Tricks. You're making me look stupid. So when it comes out, it'll come out and then there's a mechanical stop. So this can't physically go back any farther. So as tight as you can get this, what's going to happen as this gets tighter, when the motor's turning and that chain is spinning, if there's a little bit of slack, this is going to come out a little bit and it can't go back any farther. So once it comes out and takes up the slack in that loose spot, it can't go back in like this one. This one doesn't have any kind of mechanical anything to stop it. So the only thing keeping this from coming back is the pressure from the oil inside of there. You can see the oil coming out of this, and there's a little check valve right there. So if that thing sticks or you have an issue and you're not getting oil to your manual or to your hydraulic tensioner, it's just going to push every time. When that cam chain decides it wants to loosen up, it's just going to let it do it. So with this, you got mechanical advantage. You can actually hear the little sprocket in there, little teeth. So when it comes out, it's going to stay there. And whatever tension you got is what you're always going to have. Little peace of mind. It'll save you costly valve job, motor rebuild. But okay, you put the spring in. We're going to keep it in a little bit. I'm going to take this O-ring, put that O-ring on, make sure there's a little bit of oil on the O-ring, just for sealing's sake. I'm going to take this copper washer, put it back on here, and I'm going to put this on. We're going back to the bike. All right. So, I should get a rag. Clean this oil. So, we're back at the bike. I'm going to clean up a little bit of dribble. Oh, baby, sweet baby. A little bit of dribble. Some oil. Make sure there's nothing in there that's going to interfere with your stuff. Take our whole setup here. Make sure that washer's on and the O-ring is in it. We're going to put this in there. I'm going to put this in a little ways so I don't have to fight with it so much. Or I can just fight with it the whole time. That's fine too. It's only supposed to be a 3-hour tour. Okay, so now what we're looking at, we're going to move this out of the way. And if I had thought, I'd just cut a zip tie. But I didn't. And now we're here. So this is going in. Put that in there. I'm going to put this cap on, and you can see when I push this in, it comes back out just a little bit. That's the cam chain itself, the tension that the cam chain has got. When you push that in and it pushes back like that, that's what you got to get rid of altogether. And then we'll put this back on. Finger tight. You can hear it tightening up in there too. That's good. Good, that's good, that's good. I have no affiliation with the Puppet Man. We aren't related. I know, high-tech tools, right? Hey, why don't you get the right wrench? Because this one fits. And one of the purposes of this channel is to show that you can do things to your bike on your own. And you don't have to pay somebody. And you know that things are done because you did it yourself. And if you can do it correctly, you don't have to worry. So, just a little bit of Guten tight. I'm sure JD would probably say, that's gotta be 13 Newton meters. But I don't have a Newton meter. So I'm doing Guten tight, which is a German form of measurement. So, clean up some dribbles. We got her tight. And what I'm gonna do, let's take this damn camera off my chest. So what I'm gonna do now that we've got this cam chain in, or tensioner in, everything is tight, snug, make sure there's no oil leaking. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna roll this motor over slow for the first few kicks. I'm gonna use my kick start. I'm gonna kick this thing over slow a few times. 530. I gotta do it. Be a man. All right. Slow, 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 slow. Make sure that roll it over. It's nice and slow to make sure that cam chain doesn't jump a tooth. If you jump a tooth, you're gonna have a bad time. Okay? Okay. So I still got top dead center compression is right there when the lobes come over. When both of the lobes are off of their peak spot and the piston is about as high as it can go. And that's where you want to start a 4-stroke dirt bike. If you've ever seen somebody kicking and kicking and kicking and kicking on a 4-stroke dirt bike, getting all sweaty. I mean, I'm getting sweaty right now just from doing that. But if you ever seen somebody kick and kick and kick and kick and they're getting frustrated, more than likely it's the technique that you use trying to start a 4-stroke motorcycle. When you're kicking over a motorcycle, this 4-stroke, this is what you're looking for. So what we're gonna do, pull it all the way to the top. What I want you to do is push all the way through. You can hear the engine turn over. And I'll do that again. You can hear it come over. Okay? So on a 4-stroke, the piston comes up 2 times and it only fires 1 time every other rotation. It just went through the stroke. Okay, that was probably the exhaust stroke. So now we're coming back up. You do it slow. And you feel that little valley right there. That little bump. I'll do it again. So you kick through, nothing. That little bump right there. When it does that, come back to the top. Kick it all the way to the bottom. And you'll start 9 times out of 10. As long as your valves are adjusted, everything's kosher. That's the way to do it. So now that we got this done, I'm gonna start this thing. See if my battery's not too cold. Oh, hopefully. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no choke. Okay, put that thing away. How about that, JD? Like that? Look at this kickstart. Put that right away. I got this button right here, this little red thing. That works good. So, as you can tell already, listen to it now. You heard it before. I mean, it was outside, but I haven't started it since then. It was almost silent. Hardly doing any kind of vibrating, no clicking, clacking. The tensioner's doing what it's supposed to do. So it did what I wanted it to do. And that's a good thing. Simple fix, took a couple minutes. Took me longer to explain things, but hey, you get what you get. So, with that installed, you don't see any oil. No oil coming out. It's good. And that fixed one of our bigger problems with this bike. awesome. So that was it for the cam chain tensioner install on the KTM 530 EXC-R dual sport 2008 orange and black. Okay, so on the next episode I'm gonna play with the jetting. We're gonna go through that to set up from summer riding to winter. Stay tuned. So exciting. You got a bike? You got a quad? You got a side-by-side?
I want to ride it.
But Dan, what bikes do you want to ride? Funny you should ask. I had to think about it. I to figure out possibly. I can't think of it. I'll have to think.